India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar condemned the Pahalgam terror attack, claiming it was an act of economic warfare aimed at destroying Kashmir's tourism and provoking religious violence. The minister is currently on a 3-day visit to the United States. Speaking in an interview with Newsweek in New York, Dr. S. Jaishankar highlighted India's action on the 7th of May following the Pahalgam terror attack, while calling out Pakistan's support to terrorism.
The Pahalgam was meant, it was an act of economic warfare. It was meant to destroy tourism in Kashmir, which was the mainstay of the economy. It was also meant to provoke religious violence.
Dr. S. Jaishankar criticized Pakistan for harboring terrorist organizations, stating that these groups operate openly in populated towns, likening them to the corporate headquarters.
These are terrorist organizations who have the equivalent of their corporate headquarters in the populated towns of Pakistan. Everybody knows what is the headquarters of organization A and organization B. And those are actually the buildings, the headquarters that we destroyed.
Shredding Pakistan's narrative, Dr. S. Jaishankar also highlighted UN Security Council's strong condemnation of the Pahalgam terror attack after inaugurating the United Nations exhibition titled The Human Cost of Terrorism in New York. The exhibition at the United Nations is on display from the 30th of June to the 3rd of July and again from the 7th of July to the 11th at the UN. It comes a day before Pakistan begins its month-long presidency of the Security Council. Dr. S. Jaishankar is also attending the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting with counterparts from Australia, Japan and the United States. The meeting focuses on advancing a common vision for a free, open and secure Indo-Pacific region.
Rubio will welcome his Quad counterparts from Australia, India and Japan to Washington to reaffirm our shared commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific. This ministerial reinforces our joint resolve to defend sovereignty, strengthen regional maritime security, and build resilient supply chains.
The Foreign Ministers meeting aims to build momentum for the upcoming Quad Leaders Summit, expected to be attended by Prime Minister Modi and US President Donald Trump. Hailing India-US ties, the White House has said that India continues to remain a very strategic ally in the Asia-Pacific.
Finalizing these agreements, and you'll hear from the president and his team, his trade team, very soon when it comes to India.
On China, how do we counter China on that front?
Yes, look, India remains a very strategic ally in the Asia Pacific, and the president has a very good relationship with Prime Minister Modi.
For more on this, our Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal, joins us on the broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us, Siddhant. Now, a couple of things here. We're seeing this exhibit that is on at the UN headquarters, where India has once again spoken of the impact of terrorism, saying that no one is safe until everyone is safe. We've seen that. On the other hand, we see that the United States maintains that India is a strategic ally, an important ally. Just on the basis of this, Siddhant, what more can you tell us?
Well, an important visit of the Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is underway to United States, and the big focus remains on the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting. The meeting happens later today at 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And remember, Quad has been a grouping that gained momentum under Donald Trump's first presidency. This is a grouping that has had its own history. It's not a new grouping in many ways. It was a grouping that emerged after the 2004 tsunami in the Indian Ocean region. But by 2007-8, it was disbanded over concerns that China will be angry over the grouping coming together. But by 2017, the members of the grouping were pretty clear that when it comes to this grouping, it has a future, and Donald Trump essentially revived it. And we also know that earlier this year, when the second term of Donald Trump started in January, the first engagement that the new U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio had was the meeting with the Quad member countries. His first bilateral was, in fact, with the Indian External Affairs Minister. He will have a bilateral with the Indian External Affairs Minister later today as well. But this is a grouping that's working on several domains, whether it is providing vaccines, whether it is providing scholarships. In fact, they had a Coast Guard coming together just yesterday. The announcement was made, and today's meeting is important in terms of the summit. India plans to host the summit later this year, and for that, leaders of the Quad grouping, including US President Donald Trump, is expected to travel to India. So to expect from today's meeting momentum to be generated on essentially the summit, and also India is likely to not only talk about the situation in the Indo-Pacific, but its concerns over terrorism. The opening of the exhibition is part, of course, of India's focus on highlighting the issue of cross-border terrorism, because the exhibition shows the victims of the 26/11 terror attack by the Pakistani terrorists, the Parliament terror attack, and also the Kanishka bombing, which was done by the Khalistani terrorists. So essentially, India's key focus on the issue of terrorism remains. We have seen the comments by the Indian External Affairs Minister, including on the Pahalgam terror attack. But one thing is for sure from the Indian side, that terrorism is a major concern, and India is going to continue to highlight that at global forums.
Right, Siddhant, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this, of course, and of course we'll continue to track this closely as well. Thank you so much for now.